knew how much risk was in that system. Bilateral, bespoke, non-reported transactions. No one knew how much risk was in that system. Repackaged and re-leveraged again and again and again and again. No one knew how much risk was in that system. Bilateral, bespoke, non-reported transactions. No one knew how much risk was in that system. Repackaged and re-leveraged again and 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 again.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's Jordan Locke here, bringing you some breaking news. Sam Bankman-Fried, the former CEO of the cryptocurrency exchange, well, now defunct cryptocurrency exchange, FTX, was found guilty on all charges today in a federal court. For those of you who don't remember, Sam Bankman-Fried was 31 years old. He was the founder of FTX, which at the time was one of the top 10 largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world. I think at one point it had over $30 billion in assets or something crazy like that. This guy was an MIT graduate, obviously very smart. At one point, his net worth was $15 billion. Let me repeat that, $15 billion, and this guy was 31 years old. And he had this net worth before he turned 31. So this guy was under 30. I think at one point he made the Forbes 30 under 30 list or something like that. So his net worth at one point was $15 billion. After this entire fiasco, his net worth dropped from $15 billion to under $1 billion. So he lost over $14 billion worth of money. I think one of the magazines that I read quoted it as being one of the largest net worth drops in history, if not the largest net worth drop in history. So I'm not sure if you guys remember this entire fiasco. This started happening last year. There was a lot of turmoil in the crypto markets, and there was another crypto exchange called Binance. Now, Binance is run by a different guy who is affectionately referred to as CZ. His real name is Changpeng Zhao, but people call him CZ. This guy is the CEO of Binance, and Binance was a much larger crypto exchange than FTX. I think it was the largest exchange at one point. So Sam Bankman-Fried and CZ started getting into a spat on Twitter. They were arguing about things, and CZ actually at one point was looking at, well, when I say CZ, I mean CZ's company, Binance, was looking at buying FTX because FTX had become distressed. And after doing due diligence, they decided that they didn't like what they saw in the books of FTX. So CZ pulled Binance out of the deal, and then FTX collapsed. After FTX collapsed, it came to light that Sam Bankman-Fried was essentially using FTX as a vehicle to fund his own personal investment endeavors through a sister company that he had called Alameda Research. Now, what Sam Bankman-Fried was doing is he was taking funds from FTX. I believe at one point it was upwards of $10 billion of customer funds, like money that customers had parked in FTX, and transferring that money to Alameda Research, which is another company that he founded. And this company was in charge of sort of going on ventures with the capital. The problem is that he was using customers' funds without telling these customers, without telling anyone, actually. So this is where this entire thing started. That landed Sam Bankman-Fried in hot water. He was arrested last year in November, and the court proceedings have been going on, and today he was just found guilty. So Sam Bankman-Fried was found guilty of a number of charges, including wire fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, conspiracy to commit securities fraud, conspiracy to commit commodities fraud, among other charges. And this guy is facing over 100 years in prison. I think they said like 115 years in prison. Now, do I think he's going to do 115 years in prison? Probably not. Either way, he's going to end up doing a lot of time in prison. So like we mentioned, at the behest of Sam Bankman-Fried, this company, Alameda Research, was involved in all kinds of nefarious business practices, including amassing crypto tokens before FTX would launch these crypto tokens and announce support for them. So essentially what they were doing was buying hordes of crypto tokens that were not announced as being supported by FTX before the announcement came out. And then after Alameda Research would buy these tokens at the behest of Sam Bankman-Fried, Then Sam Bankman-Fried would announce that FTX was supporting these tokens. So just really, really shady business here. Damian Williams, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, stated Sam Bankman-Fried perpetrated one of the biggest financial frauds in American history, which I would say is accurate. So just a quick timeline of events of what happened last year. Rival Exchange, on November 6th of 2022, Rival Exchange Binance sells all FTT tokens. Now, FTT tokens were the native tokens of the cryptocurrency exchange FTX, which was Sam Bankman-Fried's exchange. November 7th, FTX announced liquidity crisis and was seeking a bailout from venture capitalists. And then when venture capitalists weren't biting, they went to Binance to seek a bailout. So at that point, Binance was saying that it would buy FTX's non-US business. After doing due diligence, CZ and Binance realized that the books here were not solid and there was some tomfoolery going on with FTX's books, and they walked away from the deal. At that point, when the customers heard about Binance walking away from this deal with FTX, they started pulling their funds out and FTX collapsed. On November 10th, the Bahamas freeze the assets of FTX subsidiary there. Sam Bankman-Fried admitted to non-U.S. business liquidity crisis and said the affiliate Alameda Research was going to wind down. November 11th, Bankman-Fried steps down as FTX CEO, is replaced by court-appointed CEO with restructuring experience. November 12th, FTX reports an alleged hack suspected to be up to $477 million and moves its digital assets to cold storage for security reasons. We still don't know who is behind that hack. We don't know if it was even legitimate or not, but that's beyond the scope of this video. November 18th, the Bahamas takes control of FTX assets. December 12th, Bankman-Fried is arrested by the authorities in Bahama. He's later extradited to the U.S. December 22nd, Sam Bankman-Fried is released on $250 million bond, the largest in history, by a federal judge. So essentially what Sam Bankman-Fried was doing in a nutshell was using one entity that he created, FTX, the cryptocurrency exchange, transferring customer funds, which at one point I think was almost $10 billion worth of customer funds, and using those funds in Alameda Research without telling anybody what was happening. Now, as I mentioned before, Sam Bankman-Fried and Changpeng Zhao, are affectionately referred to as CZ, the CEO of Binance, were having a spat on Twitter. They apparently didn't really like each other. So there's some speculation that this entire collapse was sort of started by CZ, the CEO of Binance. We don't really know if that's exactly the case, if this was like a personal vendetta that CZ had against Sam Bankman-Fried, or if he truly didn't like the books when they did their due diligence before Binance considered purchasing FTX. We don't know exactly what happened there. I mean, there was even some speculation after FTX went down that Binance itself had some tomfoolery going on with its books there too. As of the recording of this video, nothing has happened with Binance. They're okay. But those are the facts that we have right now. I will be bringing you other updates as they come. I think that this entire thing is a huge win for consumers in the US because this literally was one of the largest scams ever perpetrated. It was one of the largest frauds ever perpetrated in the US. And honestly, I think that this guy really deserves this prison time that he's going to get. I will keep you guys updated with any new news that comes out. Jordan Locke signing out. I will talk to you guys later. Take care.